Bandwagon. This is one of the most common propaganda techniques. It attempts to persuade the target audience to join in and take the course of action that everyone else is taking. By creating a sense of inevitability and social pressure, it plays on the human desire to be on the winning side and to belong to a group. Phrases like a growing movement or millions of people already agree are used to make jumping on the bandwagon feel like a natural and popular choice. Fear appeal. This technique seeks to build support by instilling fear and anxiety in the general population. The propagandist presents a specific threat or a looming disaster, and then offers their idea or product as the only way to prevent it. The message is simple. If you don't adopt this belief or take this action, something terrible will happen to you, your family, or your country. It is a powerful tool for motivating people by triggering strong emotions that can override or short-circuit careful rational evaluation. Scapegoating. Scapegoating is the tactic of blaming a specific person or group for complex and often unrelated problems. It simplifies a difficult situation by creating a clear and easily hateable enemy. By directing public anger and frustration towards the scapegoat, the propagandist can distract from the real causes of the problem and consolidate their own power. This technique is often used to unify a population against a common, manufactured enemy. Name-calling. This technique uses negative, emotionally charged labels to discredit an opponent or an idea. Instead of engaging with the substance of an argument, the propagandist resorts to personal attacks and derogatory names. The goal is to create a negative emotional association in the minds of the audience, so that they reject the person or idea without ever examining the supporting evidence. It is a powerful tool for short-circuiting critical thinking. Glittering generalities. This is often taught as a counterpart to name-calling. Instead of using negative labels to trigger rejection, it uses vague positive language to attract support. A glittering generality is a vague virtue word, or phrase used to evoke positive feelings rather than to convey specific information. Words like freedom, security, strength, patriotism, and change are used to make a product or an idea seem appealing. Because these words mean different things to different people, the audience can project their own hopes and desires onto them, all while avoiding any discussion of the specific details. Card stacking. This technique involves deliberately presenting only the information that is favorable to your cause, while suppressing or ignoring any inconvenient facts. It is a form of manipulation by omission. By stacking the deck with a one-sided collection of evidence, statistics, and testimonials, the propagandist can create the illusion of overwhelming support for their position, making it seem like there is no other logical conclusion. False dilemma. Also known as a false dichotomy, this technique presents a complex issue as having only two possible options, when in reality, there may be many. The message forces the audience into a simplistic either-or choice, often framing one option as clearly desirable and the other as catastrophic. The classic example is the phrase, "You are either with us or you are against us," which is designed to eliminate any room for nuance, compromise, or independent thought. Whataboutism. Whataboutism is a defensive technique used to deflect criticism. When faced with an accusation, instead of answering it directly, the person responds by turning the accusation back on their accuser or pointing to a different, unrelated issue. It often works by shifting attention to another case, sometimes through a literal "what about" response to derail the original criticism and avoid accountability, and it may also create a false moral equivalence. Appeal to authority. This technique uses the testimony of a respected authority figure to persuade the audience. The propagandist leverages the credibility of experts, scientists, or officials to validate their claims. This can be a legitimate form of argument, but it becomes a propaganda technique when the authority figure is not actually an expert on the specific topic being discussed, or when their opinion is presented as absolute fact that cannot be questioned. Testimonial. Similar to an appeal to authority, a testimonial uses the endorsement of a celebrity, influencer, or other respected public figure. This technique relies on the admiration and trust the audience has for the endorser. The goal is to get the audience to transfer their positive feelings for the public figure onto the idea or product being promoted, regardless of whether the endorser has any real expertise on the subject. Plain folks. This is an image crafting technique where a powerful person, such as a politician or a CEO, presents themselves as an ordinary citizen who is just like you. They will often be shown in common settings, using simple language and talking about everyday experiences. The goal is to build trust and make the leader seem relatable and down to earth, even if they come from a background of immense wealth and privilege. Repetition. This is a fundamental psychological technique. The more times a person hears a statement, the more familiar it becomes. The human brain often mistakes this familiarity for truth. Propagandists exploit this illusory truth effect by repeating a simple, memorable slogan or talking point over and over again through multiple channels. The constant repetition makes the idea stick, regardless of whether it is true or false. Emotional imagery. This technique can short-circuit rational analysis by using powerful visuals to evoke a strong emotional reaction. Images or videos of heroic soldiers, waving flags, crying children, or menacing enemies are used to trigger feelings of patriotism, fear, anger, or compassion. These strong emotions then become directly associated with the propagandist's message, making it far more persuasive than a simple factual argument. Us versus them. This technique creates a strong in-group identity by demonizing an out-group. It divides the world into a simple binary: us, framed as good, normal, or deserving, and them, framed as dangerous, corrupt, or responsible for society's problems. This tactic is incredibly effective at forging unity and loyalty within a group by focusing its members on a shared enemy. It simplifies complex issues into a struggle between good and evil. Disinformation and misinformation. This is a crucial distinction in the modern era. Misinformation is false or inaccurate information that is spread without intent to deceive, though people may share it unknowingly or by mistake. Disinformation, on the other hand, is false information that is deliberately created and spread with the specific intent to deceive, harm, or manipulate an audience. Disinformation is weaponized deception. It often includes outright lies, but it can also involve misleading framing, selective truths, or manipulated context spread with the intent to deceive. Bot amplification. This is a modern tactic that often reinforces the bandwagon effect by making a message appear more popular and widely supported than it actually is. It uses automated social media accounts, known as bots, to artificially amplify a message, making an idea or a political position look far more popular than it actually is. Bot amplification can be part of astroturfing, but astroturfing more broadly means creating the false appearance of grassroots support, with or without bots. By flooding social media with likes, shares, and comments, these bot networks can manipulate trending algorithms and create a false social consensus. Thanks for watching. Which of these techniques do you see the most right now? Let me know in the comments. Also, please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.